Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher. Great to introduce you today to Vicheka Chourp, who is joining us from ISF Cambodia. Vicheka, welcome to the program.
Hello, everyone.
It's
Nice
great.
to meet you.
It's great to see you, Vicheka. Thank you for joining the show today and for sharing a little bit about ISF Cambodia. I know that that is a project and an organization and a work that is very near and dear to your heart. According to my research, you've been with the organization for at least 12 years. And so I know it is something that is important to you. Tell us, ISF Cambodia focuses on what?
Uh, ISS Cambodia focus on using education, sport, and community development to improve life to the most disadvantaged children in their community in Cambodia.
And in Cambodia, let's start by thinking a little about the current situation. How are things for the families that ISF Cambodia works with? How are things right now?
So ISF work with more than 500 families, so that is including around 700 children. So those come from very, very poor background. That before COVID started. So when COVID hit us early 2020, so that kind of make life so much more difficult for them. So they kind what they more the family actually maybe a little bit background of them. Mostly they come from province. Usually they do agriculture, but they cannot do it anymore because they kind of almost 100% rely on the rain. So when the rain not there, they cannot do agriculture, but sometimes it's flooded. So they relocate to Phnom Penh looking for job, but more of them cannot read and write. So move to Phnom Penh looking for job in Phnom Penh is to find a good job is almost impossible for them. So during COVID, yes, more of them lose their job or more of their income have been reduced, and so they cannot afford just to support their basic needs, that including just food and medical health, and also the just to pay the rent. So it was really difficult for them.
This is the Edge of Adventure. You guys know my name is Adam Asher, and my special guest today is Vicheka Chourp. She's joining us from ISF Cambodia and talking first, I guess, about some of the effects that COVID has had. And these are the kinds of things that we've seen around the world. We've seen um, the effects of the virus and the shutdowns and these sorts of things that have caused loss of job and loss of employment, which then in turn causes other problems too. And so it's been a very difficult time, and I know for Cambodia as well. The type of work that ISF Cambodia focuses on, you focus on providing what for these children in particular. You're the I mean, they're very, I think, a few different programs, but the primary program is based on what?
Education and football. So that's two main program, education and football. This one is education, which actually the state school in Cambodia, the government school in Cambodia is free. But for these children that we work with to be able to be in school, they need to pay for stationery, uniform, bicycle, and extra class, which all these costs make their family cannot afford to send them to go to school, or they have to drop out of school. So our program take children from 8 to 11 years old. So that's how we start. The children that never been in school or drop out of school, We take them into our own 2 schools, teach them 2 grades in 1 year, support them with breakfast, lunch, uniform, stationery, food parcel every month for the family, and teach them 2 grades in 1 year to catch them up to the right age with the right grade. And then we support them into the government school. So the support we go through until they reach university or study or take some vocational training, on-job training. The ultimate goal of this education program is get them into stable employment to get out of poverty that they are in.
So education and football, you said, and of course, everybody can tell from my American accent. So I'm here from the States in the U.S. We know what football is when the international community talks about football, but of course, to us, we call that soccer. But for soccer, for football, how does that factor in? Is this is an important tool, an important program for ISF Cambodia? How do you use the football or the soccer program to help the children?
So children that we work with come from very poor background. So being children, it's almost impossible for them because they had to work or support their family. So football gives them opportunity to be children. They have fun to go out and play with their friend. So that is the basic goal of the football program. But we also include all ability player into the program that include deaf hearing impaired, intellectual disability player, wheelchair, HIV positive, because they normally have been discriminated in society. So the program include them to be part of society. We also use football as a tool for education. So we include education to the player during football training session on the danger of drug, alcohol, gambling, and also provide education on life skill, that including teamwork, leadership, problem solving, all these skill which is helping them in the future when they get into employment.
Vicheka Chourp is my guest today here on the Edge of Adventure. She's the country manager for ISF Cambodia. And as I mentioned earlier, she's been with the organization for 12 years. So she knows a lot about it. She cares a lot about these kids and these families. And before COVID, it was difficult, and COVID has made it even more challenging. So certainly, Vicheka has our respect, as does this entire organization and all the people that are working with ISF Cambodia and supporting you guys. How have you seen the effects play out? Or another way, maybe to say it is, what has been the effect of ISF Cambodia on these communities as you look back over the 12 years of your time working with the organization?
So when I started in 2006, in the school, we have around 50 students in the school, and no, actually less than 50. And in the football program, we have 200 children in the football program. And currently we have 700 children in education program and more than 3,000 players in our football program. So since 2008, when I started, the organization keep growing. And also some of the kids that I know when I started, they were 8, 9 years old. But some of them at the moment are in university or in vocational training or already working, and some of them already exit the program because they found job, they have stable employment. And so all this they change. And even the staff, it was like 10 staff member. Now we have around 80 staff member. And the football program, we start with just boys. Now we have around 30% of the players are girl. And we also include all these all ability kid on wheelchair, the hearing impaired, HIV positive, and we integrate the HIV positive playing against the normal team. So we trying to encourage reducing the discrimination.
One of the things you said, Vicheka, that stuck out to me or that I noticed in particular was the concept or the reality that the kids here are often forced to grow up soon or early. They don't have the chance to be kids. And these programs, in part, one of the ways that these programs are important is that it gives them that chance to be kids. Tell me about the smiles that you see on these kids' faces. What does a smile mean to you?
So when you go to community, I call community, that's where they are from, that's where they live. The way they live is completely kind of, they have very little, very little. But when they come to school, look at the smile that they have. They forget about whatever at home. At the football pitch, they just running around, having fun, enjoying themselves. It just it just completely opposite to where they're from, and then they come to the school, they come to the football, they're having so much fun. So it gives you so much pride, so much satisfaction that the work that we do is meaningful, and it means something for them.
Vicheka Chourp is our guest today, joining us from ISF Cambodia. And you're in what city right now? You're joining us from headquarters, I think. So you are where?
In Phnom Penh, the city of Cambodia.
And it's certainly great to have you on the show today and to be getting to know ISF Cambodia and the important work that they do. The decisions often that the families have to make to provide for themselves or to seek work, does that affect the children's education? So a child who is in school, but then when the realities of making ends meet hits the family, and the family decides they might have to go somewhere, move, or whatever. How is this impacting the kids' educational experience, and what do you hope for families like that?
So before the kid join ISI, before they selected to join our program, mostly they're working or stay at home looking after brother and sister. So coming to school is lost part of their family income. So what ISI does is to make sure the students stay in school. We support the family with the food parcel. So that is the money food parcel that include rice, salt, sugar, fish sauce, soy sauce. So all these things help the parent to kind of less worry about what they eat today, but support their kids to stay in school. Having said that, it's not that they don't believe in education. They do, but education is a long-term investment. And what is their concern now is food on the table. So that's why sometimes they take them out of the school. So other challenge that we face is when they reach 15, 16, 17, that's when other challenge that we face with the parent, because they're older, they can work, they can earn more money. So the parent kind of put pressure on them to stop study and to look for job to support the family. So that's when we work harder when they reach to that age, making sure they have the computer skill, making sure they have some English skill, they receive the general education. And if if we cannot stop them from staying in school, we will support them to take some vocational training. So vocational training is kind of giving them a faster opportunity to finish their education and then get into employment. But we also working with the parent to link them to the job opportunity. With our partner, we have around 50, 60 partner that we work with. So that is helping some of our students to work, and also some of the parents to get job. And we also have the sewing project that we train the parent in both community that we work, giving them the skill, and we help them to kind of set up. If they stay with us, work in our school, or they stay at home, we support them with a sewing machine and help them with the supplier, with the market for them to sell their clothes and their material. So the better income the parent earn, the more opportunity for their children to stay in school longer.
Vicheka, you've mentioned several things that to me sound very unique about ISF Cambodia. What makes ISF Cambodia effective?
So Cambodia run by local Cambodian. That's one of the main thing that I'm very proud of. More of the international organization like ISF is run by foreigner. So ISF is run by Cambodian, and more of our management team are Cambodian. We have also foreigner, but mostly Cambodian, and we understand our own situation. We understand the family situation, and this one of the reason make ISF very strong. And also we have really good boards member, which more of them are chartered accountants. So they know, so they understand the money, where the money go, understand all these things, and they also helping us a lot, empowering us to do the work that we do, and guide us, and also helping us with fundraising overseas. So that's one of many good reason that they make ISS strong or good.
Well, one of the things too, you mentioned the sewing program, and as we've seen some pictures. If you're watching the video version, you got to see some pictures of some of the women sewing, and that would be what is that's a part of the vocational. And I mean, it's a way that you're supporting, as you said, it's a way you're supporting the families, but also helping the families to develop needed skills so that they can make a living and help to provide for themselves. Does this fit into sort of the category of vocational training that ISF Cambodia provides?
Yeah, it's kind of vocational training. So the training would last 6 months to 1 year, depend on the trainee and the trainer. So we hire a trainer to support them. We set up the sewing machine and place for them to learn, and at the same time we also helping them to find the market where to sell their clothes. And also because our education program, we support the children, our student with a school uniform, school bag every year. The parent can learn to make the children uniform and also the school bag. So while they are learning, they also earning some money.
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher, and that's the voice of Vicheka Chourp. She is joining us today from ISF Cambodia, and she's the country manager. And as you can tell, and as you've heard, she's been with the organization a long time, and she clearly has this heart for what she does. And so let me ask a question related to that, Vicheka. Why is this so important to you?
So this relate to me, myself too. I never been good in school myself. So when I was young, I was struggling to learn the way more other people learn. So I believe that people can learn in many different ways. So it can be in classroom, it can be just running a project, it can be just have opportunity to do it and learn from it, and also learn from play like football, like sport. So that's why I have my heart in this organization, in this project, which I believe people can learn in many so different way, and ISS give that opportunity to many different children to learn the way they can learn.
It's easy, isn't it, Vicheka, to assume, to make an assumption that everybody learns in the same way or that we are all the same when we're not all the same, and we have different skills and different gifts and different talents. And what a wonderful thing that you and ISF Cambodia stand by the ones who might be misunderstood or thought of as maybe not belonging in the class, and then for you guys to stand by them in this way is a precious thing. The culture of the organization, ISF Cambodia, what is the culture like in terms of the organization, the people that work there, the people that give of their time, and this is what they do day in and day out? What is the culture like inside the organization?
So I can start with the board. The board, I've known them for many years. Uh, they are very kind, very generous. They put their own time to support ISI. They put their own money to support ISI, and they empower us to do the job. And they are there to support us when we need. So that's one of the thing, and they always behave like that since the start that I joined ISF, and we are the staff, the team in Cambodia. We kind of adapted people. Kind of we one thing have to change, we change. We learn and then change and we make improvement. Especially during the COVID, when it started in Cambodia, we kind of there's always challenge, and there's some not ready to change, and all sort of issue. But we have very strong management team, which is we are very flexible and try to adapt and trying to change. Beside all the challenge that we face, we will learn, we make some mistake, and we do it again. And maybe we make other mistake, but we will try to do it again.
This is The Edge of Adventure. My name is Adam Asher, and we are focusing today on ISF Cambodia. Vicheka Chourp is the country manager there, and she's joining us from Cambodia. Today, on the screen, if you're watching the video version, you can see their website, isfcambodia.org, isfcambodia.org. And can I ask what ISF stands for?
Indochina Starfish Foundation. So there's a little story related to starfish. So this story adapt to other story that I had before, but I just share the story a little. So there's a little girl walking by the sea, seeing millions of starfish dying on the shore of the sea. So she picked one and throw in the sea. And there's a gentleman walk past and ask her, there's millions of starfish on the sea. What can you do about it? well, you just throw one in the sea, and she say that she start with that one. So this is related to ISS is we are making a different one child at a time. We're not trying to save the world, but we do the little part that we can do to have.
ISF Cambodia, Indochina Starfish Foundation in Cambodia. And can't save the world, but we can all do something. We can all do something to help the one, or the two, or the three. Vicheka Chourp is my guest today. She's the country manager with ISF Cambodia, and she's been there for many years, giving of her time and her talent. She has a very special place in her heart for this work. I'm going to now ask you a two-part question, Vicheka, okay? What brings you, well, let's put it this way. What makes you sad and what brings you joy?
So in ISF, what brings me sad is when we cannot have the student to stay in school, to finish what they should be doing and then get into stable employment. Because sometimes the family pressure, the life pressure around them trying to go out and get job, earning the money is so strong that they had to give up all their education and making quick money, but it's not stable. It's very difficult for them to go further, to progress further. So that made me very sad when I work here. So the most happy thing that I would have when I watch some of them in university and then working and looking good and looking tall and mature and all these things, it make me so happy and so proud. So there's some students, they working, they come back to visit us. They tell us all the story that they've been through and happy. And they said they want to share their story to the younger student. So that is make me very happy and very proud.
Vicheka, when did you first know that you wanted to serve in this way?
When I started in ISI in 2008, I was not sure. I just want to do something. I just want to work. So at the time, I take the job and do something. But the more I'm part of the organization, the more I feel like this is the right place. This is the place that I can contribute. This is the place that we can do something to have hundreds of family and the children. So it around 2010. So that's when things change in ISI. That's when I change. I start to see the result. I start to see the improvement, and then that's when I start to see this is where I belong.
Vicheka Chourp from ISF Cambodia, my guest today here on The Edge of Adventure. Vicheka, what advice would you have for the people listening or the people watching? Advice for their own life. Doesn't have to tie to anything in particular. If you were to give the listener, give me, give us collectively some advice, what would that be?
I would think don't wait until you have everything to give back. You can start now. You can do something now. You can have people when you see on the street or someone else somewhere else, just a little $1, $2. So it was. I'm just telling a bit about my story a little bit when I was around 18, 19. So I have no skill. That's when I didn't complete my, like, I finished my high school, but no job or anything. But I met someone just give me a volunteering job, just a little, uh, just kind of little bridge that they gave me, and that bridge helped me to get to where I am today. So that's what we are doing at ISF too. We give them the bridge to to go through from where they are today into the new stable employment. So start contribute to that little bridge to have hundred and thousand of people.
Some great advice, some great wisdom from my guest today, Vicheka Chourp from ISF Cambodia. What else is ISF Cambodia focused on? I know you have your hands full. I know there's a lot going on, and it's a challenging time. We've talked about different aspects of what ISF Cambodia does, but are there, because I know there are a couple of other programs, um, uh, what else, just to make sure that the listener has a full grasp on your projects? What are some of the other areas that ISF is currently working with the communities on?
So just give a little bit more detail of our education program. So when we say education and football program, it's not just education that we provide. So we work with very disadvantaged kids. So what we do is when we take children into our school, we support them with education, breakfast, lunch, school uniform, bicycle, stationery, school bag, and medical support, and also vaccination. So this is the whole package of our education program. We also support the family with the monthly food parcel so that they can keep the student in school. We also link the parent with the employment opportunity, and the sewing project also helping them to have the skill and also earning the money to support their family. Our football program is not just football, but we use it as a tool to provide education on danger of drug, alcohol, gambling, and also life skill. So this thing is not just education and football, but there's so many other things that we've been doing. And during this COVID time, with the more than 500 family that we support, because majority of them lose their job, more of their income have been reduced, or some of them has no income at all. We have to change our direction a little bit by support them with food and also contribute to the renting, and to be able for their children to study online, because the school here have been closed early this year. So to be able for the children to study online, we also lend them with a tablet, and also support them with the internet top up, because to be able to organize teacher to provide all these things, but at the end, if there's no tablet, there's no phone, there's no internet top up, is won't be able to have their class.
Vicheka Chourp, my guest today, from ISF Cambodia, and learning about her heart and the heart of this organization. How can we, as listeners, viewers, as a part of this global community, how can we be supportive? Obviously, my assumption here is that financial donations would be welcome, and I will say that part because I know that that's probably true, and people can find out more information by going to isfcambodia.org to find out how to give and the different programs. Financially, obviously, being one of the ways. Are there any other ways that those of us out here in the world, around the world, can we be supportive of the work that you're doing?
spreading the word, spreading the work that we do in Cambodia, share with people, tell other people about us. That's one way you can help also. And also you can volunteer to support the organization. Or you can be ambassador of the organization. You can talk about us when you go out, meeting, and all these things could be a big help to us. And if you happen to be in Cambodia after the COVID, very welcome to have you to visit the project that we do.
So they'd love to have you. isfcambodia.org for more information to find out how you can give. And I would say certainly get in touch with them. Let them know that you heard the program and that you're interested and you're supportive of them. So get in touch with them, encourage them, send them a message. And if you feel led, please help them out financially. And then, as the world gets on the other side of the pandemic and COVID and all that, you may just have the opportunity to go visit and to serve as a volunteer in some way. Vicheka Chourp is my guest from ISF Cambodia. And as we get now toward the end of the program, ready to wrap things up, I want to make sure we haven't left anything out. Vicheka, anything else that the audience should know?
Just about Cambodia. I think if you come around here, don't forget to come here because Cambodian people have a lot of smile beside the hardship that we face, but we still can manage to smile. So that's something that maybe the world can learn from us.
ISF Cambodia, Vicheka Chourp is the country director. She's been my guest today. You can look them up online at isfcambodia.org. That's isfcambodia.org. And as we learned today, ISF stands for Indochina Starfish Foundation, which has a very significant meaning and story behind it as well. So get to know them, find out more. And you can also look, if you're hearing this, let's say you're listening to this on the audio version or you're watching the video version, you can go to theedgeofadventure.com and you will be able to see the video, have the audio there, and then also get the links and show notes, we call them. So you can look that up at theedgeofadventure.com and look for the podcast page, and we'll have all that information in one place for you. So if you are there, you'll be able to track down ISF Cambodia as well. Vicheka, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the smiles. Thank you for loving those kids and for not giving up.
Thank you, Adam, and the team for giving us opportunity to be part.
And thank you all for joining us for another edition of the Edge of Adventure podcast. This is a great privilege of mine, and what a wonderful friend I now have in Vicheka and the team at ISF Cambodia. Thank you much. We will be in touch, Vicheka. God bless you, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Adam.